We're back. Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Grand Arena video. So, long story short, I've done the matches already on Twitch. This is for you guys who can't watch me on Twitch, and it's my highlights. So, first of all, we're going to show you Temmin. So, let's bring up Temmin here and let's show you what we were facing. Okay, so Temmin was facing Iden Versio, and yes, it was Special Forces it seems. Let's just pause this video because it wants to really highlight that it's a video. But yeah, we had a GP disadvantage. We were 7 behind on the Zetas, 2 behind on the Omicrons, sorry, 2 ahead on the Omicrons. It was 2 behind on the total Relics, 12 behind on the Relic 5 pluses. We did have a slender advantage on the Datacrons. I had 8 level 1s to my opponent's 5. We had 5 level 3s to my opponent's 3. 2 level 6s to my opponent's 2, so on par there, but I had 1 level 9, so we were just edging it there. 237 6-dot mods to 270, but then on all the other mod scores we had quite a clear advantage. So despite the fact that we were 1 GL to 3, I was feeling quite positive going into this. Okay, so this was the state of the board at the start of play. My opponent had a 560 banner a head start on me, and they cleared my south wall, plus 1 of the north walls as well, so interesting start. If we just show you my defense, hang on, here we go. So I had put my newly unlocked Star Killer on defense, only gear 10, but I got an Omicron, the important one, the unique. I'd also got Visas there with a pretty fast Mori Jade, so I thought at the very least it might do something. Kanan was just there because he was a tank who I didn't really need. We got Dash, and I've put some heavier scoundrels with them and smugglers, just in the hope that it might do something different. I'm going to see how it plays out. I'm not sure if I'll keep it on defense, but for now, I'm just having a little play around with it. We've got Geos. Again, Geos I don't really use much, so I figure well, let's just keep them on defense. And then we've got Adrad. Again, I didn't really have much of a plan for Adrad, but I thought, well, I may as well use him, so let's just see what he does. Then South Wall, we got Padme with Cat. That is my team just for the fact I haven't got any other use for Cat. We've got Mon Mothma. I feel my Mon Mothma team is quite tasty, so I always enjoy putting that down. We've got Darth Revan with Talon. Pretty low relics on Revan and Bastila, and HK to be fair, but to be honest it's all I can afford right now. And then I've put a Maul team down, but it's really dependent on Droideka. Droideka's 230 speed, so with the 50% speed bump at the start of battle, he should be pretty quick, hopefully ahead of Maul. So yeah, I don't think it'll do much, but if someone takes in a slow team, it might catch him out. And then on the rear, I did put an Atbar team. I threw in CLS because I had no home for him. Probably one of the first times I've thrown CLS not as a lead in a team. And then same with 3PO and Chewie. I've hidden from the camera. If I just try and move it, I might be able to show it you. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, so you can see that Atbar and 3PO and Chewie with Leia. Middle team, we've got Dooku, Django, Cad. Cad's just there because why not? Watt and SRP. I might change that team next week because it's a bit of a nothing team, and I might be able to use some of the tunes elsewhere. And then finally we've got Sortie down at the bottom. Honestly, that's a Hail Mary team. I just figure Sortie might catch someone out. So yeah, who knows? So let's see how they got on. You know, I said that and I forgot I haven't actually shown you what my opponent's got. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got good screenshots here. But yeah, this team here was a General Grievous team. I'm going to say that it was just plain old Grievous with Newt just chilling there at the end. We got a Rey team, or Rey Jedi training team with some pretty weak resistance. You can see the Ewoks down here. We got an Omicron. And we'd also got a Night Sister team with Tals in lead. And yeah, Nest was just there for a change. So down the south, we've got Bad Batch with Relic 2 Hunter. We've got a pretty weak Old Republic team. We've got JMK, as we're just going to scroll up to see. and we got a Mon Mothma team that was a bit unusual because it had got Old Ben and Omicron Leia. So very interesting to face that, I will be honest. So let's see how we got on properly this time. Okay, so we start off here with JML versus JMK. Now, I have done this variant of the battle before. It's been a while though. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I stopped playing for a month. I feel like I've been using that as an excuse for a while though, so I'm trying not to say that too often, but I feel it is playing a part still, because I was doing bits of this in Squad Arena in the last couple of months, or well, pretty much since I started playing again, just to try and gain a feel for that match again, trying to use tunes that aren't critical to JML. But yeah, as you can see here, JMK just slaughtered me. So at this point I'm thinking, alright, if I could get Cat out it'd be a bonus, but yeah, as soon as Luke goes, I am out of it. So what I decided to do was, I was going to go come with a cleanup, or I was going to try, not cleanup, I was going to try and take out Cat. So my best option there was Bounty Hunters. Now, I made a critical error here. I taunted. Yeah, you don't taunt in this matchup, and this is what screwed me. As you can see, I was stalling for a long time thinking, well, I've lost here, what do I do? There's nothing to do. Once you've taunted, the game's over, you've lost. So I thought I will try and just pull something out of it, but the issue is that the AI is hard-coded to go for the Mandalorian. Now, supposing Aura Singh had been a little bit more active, we might have stood a chance, but at gear 10, she's not going to hang around for long. Now, this was purely a goof. At this point, I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to win this round, so let's just see what my Inquisitors can do. And yeah, they can't even beat Ewoks. A little bit disappointing, but not too surprising at the same time. Ninth Sister died pretty quickly within the first minute. And Second Sister is 7-star as well. And yeah, she was struggling as well to do anything. So for the record, none of these are high gear. They're only about gear 8 to 10, but it's one of those where you kind of think a brand new faction should be able to take out Ewoks, but yeah, they let me down. So I took on my bad batch. I thought, all right, well, I should outspeed them, and I was actually surprised to see how quickly they got a turn meter train going. I mean, I'll give this guy credit, Iden Versio. Modded their Ewoks really well, so full praise for that. It meant that I was on the back foot here more than I expected to be, so the one thing with Ewoks that is worth keeping in mind, if you can shut down Paplu, you can get a good control of the battle. Paplu's one part of the puzzle, if you like, Logray's the other. I feel like a lot of the time there's so much focus on keeping Alder quiet for the revives that you forget about Logray. Alright, so Wampa here, pretty bog standard, although this team wasn't. I mean, you look at it and you think, alright, it's Mon Mothma with some weird rebels, surely this is easier. And I will say it was easier, but it was also different because with Leia under stealth, she's able to chip away at Wampa's health just that little bit more than a normal rebel fighter outside of stealth would be able to chip at it. So it's not that this was difficult, it's just that you had to be a bit more cautious because there were times, as you can see here, where I haven't got protection up and Leia's just taking free swings at me. And don't forget, when she uses the stealth ability under stealth, I believe she gains offense up or crit damage up or some form of offensive buff. So you really don't want to be letting her pepper away at you when she's got that going. So yeah, it wasn't, like I say, it wasn't the worst thing. We just had to basically play around with our food a bit. We had to wait for the right time to get Leia. As soon as you can, 68. Now again, I was faffing around a bit here. I shouldn't have really messed around as much as I did in this round, but I thought, all right, my Imperial troopers on this account are garbage. Can they do something? Could they take out a Bad Batch team that aren't top tier? And the short answer is no. I mean, I look at this and I think, why did you try this? But at the time, I thought, I'm not going to win this round. JMK, I needed to beat it to be able to at least match my opponent's score who had already attacked. So yeah, I was feeling a bit pessimistic, I'll be honest. But I feel like it was kind of warranted because, as we're going to see shortly, I made a bit of a mess when I prepped my defense for fleet. I put 3 fleets down that left me with 2 reasonably decent fleets for offense. So yeah, I couldn't clear the fleet wall, which meant that even if I had have cleared the top zone, I wouldn't have been able. Even if I had, sorry, cleared the bottom zone where JMK was, I still would have struggled. So yeah, it kind of made the whole thing a bit moot. Just to be clear, Daka here was a goddess. As you can see, she's hanging in there for dear life. She is in the red and she is begging for support. And we just about get there to get her some help. It was touch and go for a bit there. That was really where Relic 7 came in. That was such a beautiful win at the end. But yeah, if ever you want to gear up one Night Sister, I would say Daka's the one. Sadly, Asajj tends to take precedence for General Skywalker. Okay, so speaking of the Sky Guy, we did the reverse. We took our Sky Guy in against the Night Sisters, and honestly, they were no match for this. I mean, honestly, I think this is one of the quickest KOs I've ever done. I enjoyed it. It was definitely worth doing. So I did a 4-man with General Skywalker, General Grievous droids. It was a very weak RJT team. I dropped a banner. It wasn't the worst result of the day. General Grievous. Now, I didn't mind this one. I thought, okay, old Ben, he should be able to do something for us. You've all seen a General Grievous match like this before. So essentially, you mark B2 as soon as you can, get him out so he can't keep putting buff immunity on you, and then you basically cycle turns until JKR's got his his mark move back, and then mark Grievous. Very straightforward. Even with Newt here doing Newt things, it's still not too difficult. There are risk factors, but we'll talk about the risk factors later. So yeah, as you can see, we're managing this all right. We've got a second mark, so we're going for Grievous full throttle now. Obviously, we can't debuff him, so we're just taking our time. But we've got plenty of moves. We've got plenty of time to deal with him. We can just slow down, focus on B1, get some health and protection banners back. And yeah, I don't think we got 65 here, did we? No, we got 64, but that's pretty decent. Anyway, fleet. We did, well, I was calling this a burner fleet, but in reality, this wasn't a great burner fleet. I was taken aback because Outrider went first and I wasn't expecting it. First time I'd used Outrider. At least at 6 stars with Dash at Relic 7. So I was a bit surprised. I was like, hang on, what do I do? So I thought, let's use a passive move. Anyway, we managed to burn a bit of turn meter, but as it proved, it wasn't enough. I mean, that was just a horrendous turn. That was horrendous as far as Han going first turn. It just took any chance I had of doing a 2-shot here. So, yeah, I've had better Executor matches. Even this week I've had better. So yeah, at this point I'm just trying to save face again. I'm just trying to clean up, but it's safe to say that this is a bad day for Temmin. It's surprising because I'm going to show you Crimson in a moment, and Crimson was pretty good. You know, it was a good round for Crimson, so I actually did Crimson on stream first, so I'm surprised I went in with this form, if you like. But the best thing I can say is that when I lost the match with JMK, I think it just knocked my confidence. So I think that is a case of sometimes switch focus, don't just get stuck on one team. And granted, I only did 2 battles. I didn't just start throwing things willy-nilly at it, but equally, I think in my heart of hearts, I was annoyed at myself. That JMK battle, I knew the strategy, but I forgot it at the wrong moment. I just decided to taunt. And even now it's frustrating because I know you do the mass attack first. You do 2 mass attacks, get you annihilate with Mando, and then just get rid of Cat. It's such a simple technique, yet I forgot. Anyway, I only had 1 fleet left. Like I say, I really misplaced my defense, so I wouldn't have been able to clear fleet anyway, so I thought, let's just take out this rebel fleet just to get some fleet banners. Negotiated did an alright job of it. I mean, I think I did mess up here a bit. I should have brought in 5s or Ahsoka from the start, but Rex did okay. Yeah, again, we could have been a bit more efficient, I guess. I mean, I faffed around a bit with Han. Wasn't the worst thing, but yeah, I'm sure there are more efficient negotiator wins out there. So yeah, that's Temmin. So I will show you the final score, but in the meantime, let's go to Crimson. Okay, so Crimson was up against Carmelo Coton. We were 6.2 million versus 8.36. Quite a big Zeta disadvantage of 134 to 193. 3 GA Omicrons behind. About 40 total relics behind in total. 23 relic 5 pluses behind. This one's debatable as far as Datacrons, I feel, but I'd got one level 9. That was also a Darth Vader level 9 Datacron with the Empire cooldowns. But my opponent did numerically outnumber me, 13 to 11 if you like, or 13 to 12. So I thought I will give them the advantage just for more numbers, but I still feel like I had the better Datacron, so I'll leave that guy up to you guys. 6-top mods, 203 to 278, I was outnumbered. 15s, I was outnumbered. 20s, I was outnumbered by 2, but I was ahead by 10 on the 25s. Now, adding that, I was also outnumbered on GLs 4 to 2. This was a tough matchup, so let's have a look at what went on. Okay, so Crimson started the round with 0-0 on the board. That's the way I like it personally. If we just go into our walls, I had set Night Sisters on defense. I'd set Bounty Hunters, Darth Revan and Talon, and I'd set a Qui-Gon Jinn team. But as you can see, I got a very weak Kit Fisto here, and it was simply in the aim of trying to trigger JKA's AOE. I don't think it was always going to guarantee to work. But our look at it, you've got Mace who can be an annoying tank, you've got Kit who can trigger the AoE, and you've got Kiad who could probably trigger it after. So in theory, you've got a couple of back-to-back bonus turns. It might not be great for multiple battles, but just for getting one win on my side, I think it's not a bad idea. Down the south, I went away from my normal strategy and I put Treya on defense, and I actually put my new Savage Omicron on defense as well. I wasn't sure what to think of it, so I am going to try and work on Savage. I won't get into Relic, but in the meantime, I figure he could just be someone that I throw a Treya and try and make Treya look good. So we'll see as the week goes on how it gets on, but yeah, it was an interesting thought. Anyway, as you can see, we've put Geos down, I put my not so great Scoundrels down, and I put a Phasma Omicron team down, well, a TFP Omicron, a FOTP Omicron team down. As for my, on my back wall, we've got an Iden team with the Omicron, we've got Shakti with some clones, and we've got Old Republic with Count Dooku. Simple reason for Count Dooku, if you put that in, it makes Kylo Ren solos just that little bit more difficult. So just trying to anticipate that. Alright, so my opponent, again, apologies for the quality of the screenshots. It was a Darth Revan team up north. We got JML there. We had got a Qui-Gon Jinn team there. I had to just look and chat there. And we also, there we go, you can see it clearly now. And we got a Mon Mothma team. Actually, not a bad Mon Mothma team in all fairness. And then down south, we had actually got an Atbar Omicron team. I really like seeing that. It's very rare you get Atbar Omis on defense, so very nice to see, and well built. We've got a Slacker, we've got a Starkiller team, and we've got a General Grievous with Nuke team. So this was a really punchy defense. I mean, I don't think I could cheese any of these. So let's show you what I did. Okay, so we did start with the Darth Revan team and we used Imperial Troopers. So because Talon was there, I was a little bit concerned, but we went with a pretty standard attack order. First Bastille Shan Full and then HK-47. Now, this was the trouble. I knew that if we took out Darth Revan, Talon would save him. So the question was, how are we going to get Revan out while Talon's under stealth? So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we've got Malak out, but still Revan's there. And if Revan dies and is revived by Talon, he will take a turn. So yeah, that's just going to make things messy. So after a bit of stalling, as you can tell, we decided to do the AoE, and then another AoE, which managed to get Talon out. Then we haven't got the revive issue. So 74 banners, it was a clean battle in the end, but a few sketch points where we're just working things out. Okay, so we had to take GG droids in against Starkiller. I was pretty happy how this one played out. We went straight from Aura Jade, made sure we just spread the target locks about. Since I was doing these last, I've tried to mob my B2 for as much tenacity as possible, and I think it did help a little bit. It's not like you can avoid getting shock on you, but it's helpful if you can try and resist a few debuffs. So yeah, we got Visas out. That means no revives. It also means that if it's goes to a second battle, there's no there's a cleanup. And yeah, once Visas was out, it pretty much fell into place. So we did a mirror match for Slacker, and I was a little bit disappointed with this because it started so well. We managed to get both the tanks under control, which is the way you do the mirrors. It even went well as far as we managed to just get ahead a little bit as far as we got to... We lost our tank. I know that looks bad, but at this point I'm thinking, oh, we're under control here. We got their 2 tanks out now. We're good. Oh, we got red out. Oh, it's going good. And then, yeah, it came down to the usual 1v1 and... Ugh. I mean, we won it, but it was one of those where you're like, ugh, 52. So yeah, we did JMK versus JML. Bog standard match. Thankfully no Datacrons of relevance in this battle. I really didn't like the JML or JMK with Datacrons being involved, and that's someone who's got both tunes on different accounts. So yeah, main idea I go for with this battle, when I've got out of turn or characters like JMK who can ignore taunt, try and go for Revan just so that we can trigger set. Well, they won't trigger savior, but other than that, we're mainly trying to just whittle down JML's protection. So a little disappointed that they ended up getting their ultimate. It would have been nice if we could have got them under control a lot sooner than that, but yeah, this battle never really felt like it was going to get away from us. We get the healing immunity on JML. Hermit Yoda could stall the battle as far as doing his special, but he never gets around to it. So yeah, just Grandmaster Yoda left to save him, and he didn't stand a chance. So nice clean battle. Ewoks versus Akbar Army. This one was quite amusing for me because this is 2 of my niche little teams, or at least variants of them. But yeah, the Ewoks won out here. This was very clean and simple. Just so much termite flowing through this lot. I was a bit disappointed though that we lost banners. At least I believe we did. Yeah, we lost a few, I think, on Logray, was it? Yeah, Logray and Alder, maybe? Yeah. Just one AoE. Again, when I was talking in the Temmin round about JKR versus GG, it's the same team. You know, maybe a few more relics on GG, maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, same sort of strategy. Maybe we didn't mark B2 there, but we did try to go for him. Now, this is the difference, though. I put Ayla in here this time. And it was a little bit of a flex. I was like, ooh, I've got Relic Ayla here, and I haven't used her much. Shall I just throw her in? It really didn't work well. Ayla's a great tune, don't get me wrong, but she isn't really built for this because GG can just dispel those stuns. So with that in mind, she's not doing that much. It's where someone like Plo, even though Plo gets a lot of stick, at least Plo's granting turn meter. He's got dispels so that he can get around the tanks. Whereas Ayla didn't do much here in the end, and it really made things messy. I mean, I would argue that maybe I could have played this a bit smarter. I feel like I took an age getting B1 out, but yeah, as you can see here, I was just so far away from getting the revive. Jolie was just stuck. So that's the first JKR GG match I have lost in a long time. So we did a clean-up. I just took in a Django lead team, 3 Bounty Hunters, Droideka and Watt. It was pretty simple. We got nice control with Cad Bane's stuns, got a fair bit of damage from Django himself. We got extra control, if you like, from Watt with all the tech, and just a Hail Mary, we've also got Droideka who could potentially one-shot one of them. So I felt pretty comfortable as a clean-up goes. So yeah, nice and simple. Just waiting for the kill shot here. Yeah, there we go. So we got to the next team, which was Qui-Gon Jinn. Not really that threatening, even though we did manage to get Qui-Gon out pretty quick. As you can see, Anakin gets his AoE off, and at this point, it's not that they're going to kill us, but they're going to nick banners. We can't stop them from taking a toon out. They've just got that much offense, but they only take 1 out, so it's worth the banner loss for me. Alright, so at this point, I have got the cooldown datacron, so I abused it a bit here. I didn't need all of these Empire units, as you can see. I'm just spamming the AoE. But the simple fact is, it gave me the head start via speed. So, do I regret it? Kind of. But it's pretty fun to see that Vader just says, I'll take the next turn, and the next turn, and the next turn, and I'll just keep using whatever abilities I like. So this was the bat wall. I've got my Gear 12 Wampa here. Yeah, enough said. Similarly, bat wall again, bounty hunters, pretty thick, relic 5+, and yeah, I didn't stand a chance here. This was me throwing stuff and hoping it stuck, and yeah, I got stuck rather than it got stuck. So yeah, Marauder, sorry, but I feel like I let you down for your Grand Arena debut. And then I tried CLS on this dash team. To be fair, it was a good dash team, full prepared units. I was actually amazed how quick they were able to get my 3PO and Chewie out. I mean, I was expecting a tough match here, but I was really surprised how tough it was. I mean, they got Horn out very quick as well. I mean, what I will say is my Rebels are only rail at 1, so they're only just a bit above Gear 12. But you look at it and you think, I still expected a bit more here. I think that just threw me. I was like, okay. You're kind of expecting them to get back in it and go, oh, okay, we'll go again. We'll just keep healing up. And yeah, Dash just had a lot for me. We managed to get the win, but it was a really tight battle, this. I mean, it was just came down to the fact that CLS was basically saying, you know what? I'm not having this. I'm just going to win this. But if I remember right, Chewbacca, it wasn't Chewbacca, sorry, it was CLS died, but then it was just a 2-man. But this was a very lucky win in the end. So yeah, 55. All right, so I think we go to ships now. There we go. So we do Echelon, or we do Finalizer versus Executor. I've done a video on this recently, so feel free to check that out if you want to see a more detailed explanation on how I do it. But yeah, no in particular RNG factors that played into this, nothing that made it a much more unreliable or weirder match. So yeah, we got Xanadu Blood out, nice and comfortable. Civ Fighter came in. That was a bit weird because I was thinking, all right, it's got a foresight, so do I go straight for it? Yeah, we go straight for it. So other than that, strat's the same as always, just focus down on Houndstooth at this point. We've got Mark on Plo Koon. Slave One's come in, but we're going to bring an Ebon Orc. I did realise actually since the video I've just mentioned, the Fleet Battles video I did, there was a thing I didn't mention, which is that my General Hux is Relic 7. Now, the majority of people who will do this match will probably have a Relic 5 Hux, just for the fact that that's what you need for Finalizer and for SLKR. But I went a bit over the top and took mine to 7. And I think it shows in my battles that it's kind of worth it because you're able to take a turn before Executor. So while I wouldn't say you need it, it's probably a nice luxury if you want to bring in the cleanse for when I do with Plo Koon. Otherwise, you could probably just bring an Ebon Orc. Anyway, yeah, with this we've got Malevolence versus Negotiator. It feels like ages since I've done this battle because this used to be like a daily thing in Squad Arena, but now it's just like every once in a blue moon in GAC. It's not like it's got harder or anything, it's just it feels like going back in time playing this. So yeah, it was pretty fun just going visiting an old meta, just thinking about all the days that I used to get frustrated doing my Malevolence battles against Negotiator. I know a lot of people used to do Negotiator mirrors, say swapping out a fleet, but me, to be honest, I had Malevolence for the most part, but even when I got my Negotiator, I was like, I kind of like just doing Mal versus Neg. So yeah, pretty banner poor of battle at 65 banners, but we got through it. Finally, we took our Empire in against their Malevolence. As you can see, it was 3 tough fleets that I was facing. I mean, this guy went heavy on defense. To be honest, I was impressed with how much he put down. But yeah, we're just about hanging in there after they've taken the turns. Vader's just waiting for a bit of support, I'd say. Thankfully, Vader didn't get targeted with the taunt effect. We can bring in Emperor's Shuttle at this point. We should be able to cleanse TIE Bomber. yeah, use Emperor's Influence. I haven't used this ship a lot, so it's taken me a bit of time to just be sure of what I'm doing with it. But yeah, I'm going to say, we're playing it good. We just heal up at this point. We're going after the hyena because we've got a gate out. It's the one that controls everything. No point doing the special, so I might as well do a basic. I say this in the hope that I did actually do it. But just for the clarity, this was recorded, well, streamed, I should say, on a Thursday live on Twitch. I am recording this on the Monday following, so yeah, it's been a few days since I saw these battles, but yeah, quite fresh in the memory still. So 71. So yeah, that's all of them done. Let's just pause this and let's show you the final score. Okay, so as you can see here, Iden did get the better of me. Now, I get the feeling that they could have done more, but they may have held back. So yeah, it's a little bit gutting, to be honest. I think there was room to do better, let's say that. But I'm not too disheartened. It's just a little bit frustrating because everything got hit for one, and because I didn't do my best on offense, it didn't feel great. But that's the way these things go. So let's see how Crimson got on. Yeah, so for Crimson, it was a very simple win, but you wouldn't have known it based on what I faced. So, yeah, we only got one team down, Night Sisters, no other attacks. So, unfortunately, my Qui-Gon Jinn team didn't get tested. Not my Darth Revan, to be honest, so it's a little bit disappointing in that regard, but still, win on the board. Let's see how we get on in round 2.